Hey, YouTube. I think we're live right now. How's it going, everybody? Let me know in the chat if you can see and hear me. I haven't done a live stream in quite a while, so I just want to make sure everything's working. And I've got a little bit of a delay on the video just because my upload speed isn't super awesome, so I didn't want it to be buffering really bad for you guys. So let me know, yeah, let me know if you can see me. Sweet. That's awesome. All right. People are texting me saying that we're good to go. So that's good. Sweet. All right. And actually, one of the things I wanted to check was the last time I did a live stream was actually the big full bike build at United Cycle. And the audio was only coming out of one side. So if you guys can tell me if audio is left and right or if it's just left. Or I guess left to you guys. Hey, guys. Sweet. So we got a bunch of things to cover. We're going to be... oh, good. Trail Features is in there. He says it's good. BC POV is in here. Hey, guys. Audio is good. Sweet. Awesome. And yeah, normally I use a lapel mic, too, to keep it nice and close. But I'm going to be all over the room today, so I figured I'd use the shotgun mic off to the side. So should be all good. All right. So while we're kind of waiting for people to trickle in here... I was not able to do any riding this past weekend, but I'm wondering if you guys, did anybody go riding this weekend? And if you did, I would love to know where and kind of live vicariously through you. Let's see. Oh, somebody's talking about Clearwater, BC. Apparently there's really good riding in Clearwater, BC. I have never ridden there before. It's always like one of the places we just drive through and maybe stop at a subway, like partway through to like grab some food or something on the way to Whistler or Vancouver or whatever. But that's really cool to see that there's good riding in Clearwater because there's amazing mountains and terrain there. And so I always thought there had to have been, but you never know like what sort of group is there or if there's like, you know, people out there building trails or not, but that's cool to see. Because Clearwater is not a big place. Alex Chamberlain's in there. How's it going, man? You rode bikes, I'm guessing probably around Santa Cruz. SoCal, San Diego, that's awesome. Jail Trail, Utah from Caesar, that's sweet. Miguel rides in Santa Cruz. Thanks, BCPOV. Holding that band hammer. Nice. Yeah, Utah. I've still never ridden in Utah. I was down in Arizona, obviously. You've seen my last video, and I've got, I think that's all the videos that I have for Arizona. I was only, or not Arizona, but in what am I trying to say? Not Phoenix, but Sedona. I don't have any more videos for Sedona because I was there for literally like an afternoon, basically, or like a morning and early afternoon, and that was it. And so we got, what is it, 3 videos out of that. Which is pretty good, I guess. There's some pretty rad riding, but I'm hoping to hit Utah and definitely Colorado in early May. So that's going to be pretty sweet. And I'm going to go hang out with some people there and ride. Let's see where else. Miguel asks, is there going to be a fan meetup in Santa Cruz? Just maybe. Drew rides in Yellowstone. That's cool. I didn't know you could ride in Yellowstone. That's interesting. Rochester, sweet. Yeah, Crashing Dad. I'm going to be riding with you, right? Right? Early May? I hope so. All right. I'm going to open up my other window here so I can see what's going on. Turn this down. Cool. So we've got some bevies here. I don't know if you noticed, but I've got some merch finally in. I have been working on getting t-shirts and stickers in for what seems like the entire life of the channel, and I finally got these in today. The UPS man dropped these off, and I'm really, really pumped about them. It took a long time. One, there was a little bit of procrastination there. Two was I was really checking out lots of different t-shirt makers, because especially if I'm going to end up doing like drop ship where you guys are able to order and then it's sent to you eventually, I don't want the t-shirts to suck and me not know about it. So it took a long time finding the right ones, and then eventually I found these guys, and the t-shirts are like really good quality, and it's like really soft and kind of has a bit of stretch to it, and they fit really good. Like I think they fit really good anyways. So it took a while to find, but I feel like everybody who has this t-shirt, it's going to be the shirt that you grab first after laundry day is done, because it's so nice and soft, and I feel like I could wear this riding because it seems to be a nice cool shirt. MTB BC says, what is your big trip announcement? Well, that's in a little bit. I'd say actually coming up pretty fast. I'll tell you guys about that in a second. All right. Memphis loves bikes. Me too. Me too. Sweet. Yeah, so I got the t-shirts. I also got a pile of stickers in, which I showed you guys before. And, you know, like a couple of other choice items, just because I couldn't help myself. Like that one there, which is awesome. So as of right now, for anybody that wants a t-shirt, there's only one way to get the t-shirt, and that's being a Patreon subscriber. There's different levels, so it's like the usual like $3 levels, like you get in and all the first videos and extended cuts, and the videos that I only post to Patreon, of which there are going to be some really cool ones coming up. But as you go higher up in the tiers, if you go for the $10 a month tier, you get sticker pack. If you go for $25 a month tier, you get t-shirt and sticker pack, and so on and so forth. So right now, that's the only way to get t-shirts. But in the future, once I get a proper website going and a good like drop ship kind of situation going, then other people will be able to get the shirts too. But yeah, so for all my Patreon subscribers that are $25 a month and over, I've got all their shirts. This one's going to Cash Panda. We've got other ones in here. This one was actually ordered by a very special, actually former Patreon subscriber. I noticed that he stopped his subscription, and I was like, hey man, what's up? And he was on the t-shirt level, and he had paid a couple of months, and it's 2 months that you pay in and then you get your t-shirt. And so I said, just so you know, you're still going to get your t-shirt even though you're not a Patreon subscriber. And he's like, awesome, we're just about to have a new baby, and so we're kind of like tightening up the budget. I'm like, that's awesome. And so he's a t-shirt. I'm going to send that to him in his stickers. But I don't know if he's in here or not, but I also got his little kitty a little something, so which is hilarious because this was actually the most expensive piece of apparel that I ordered, and it's also like a quarter of the size. But I hope he enjoys that. A little surprise for him. All right, just going on to the chat here. Patrick, he asked, what's the best bike under 4K? The best bike? Like that's, I mean, asking somebody what the best bike is for you without knowing where you ride and knowing how you ride and how you want to progress, it's really hard to answer that. I can personally say like what I think my best value bikes would be. And I think Giant has the best value bikes out there. I was running a Giant Rain 2 all last year, and I paid like $3,000 Canadian for that. And so that's like 2,600 US, and it was brand new, really great bike. And so for under $4,000, you can get like full carbon and a really, really nice setup for that. And then like there's YT and all of those amazing, and Commensal, like all those companies where you can get incredible bikes for under 4K. There's so many. The baby jumper is rad, yeah. Yeah, Live Free and Shred. He bought his Meta AM 4.2 Race Eagle for under 4K. It is insane how much bike you can get for under $4,000. And especially if you go for aluminum framed options, but quality aluminum frame, like Commensal, like their stuff is really, really good quality stuff as far as aluminum. Same with these guys too. Like they know, they are like fully invested in aluminum. And so you can tell that they spend a little bit more time on it than maybe some others. Having said that, Giant, they have amazing aluminum frame manufacturing. Like they manufacture frames for tons of other companies too, and so they've got it down. Like I mean, this is the thing. Any single bike company out there, any major bike company, they're making incredible bikes for under 4K. You could just pick whatever brand you want, spend up to 4K or even up to 3,500 or whatever, and you're gonna get a really ripping bike that's gonna pedal well and go down well. Like it's incredible time to be a mountain biker. Memphis asks, how long have you been biking? I've been biking for, I'm 33, and I've been biking since I was like 12 or 13. So quite literally, mountain biking, quite literally 20 years. So that's, you'd think I'd be better than I am by now, considering I've been riding for that long, but here we are. All right. So, we've got a few people in here. And for everybody in there, one thing that I always say on all the live streams, whether it's my live stream or not, everybody in here, hit the like button because that really helps put the video out to more on YouTube. It goes into the almighty algorithm a bit nicer. So that's always nice. Eric from BC POV asks, what's the drink? This is old-fashioned. It's kind of my go-to live stream bevy, and it's tasty. And I think I need a few of these. I'm always nervous for live streams because it's kind of a weird experience because I'm sitting here in my office in my house, and it's just me, and it's dead silent except for my own voice, and yet I'm talking into this little camera, which is actually you guys, and I can't hear or see any of you guys. So it's always sort of weird. So I top up my drink a little bit higher than usual. Oh, Trail Feature says there's a little bit of random static. Trail Features, do you think that's from the... Does it sound like the mic clipping, or is it just from random YouTube live streamness? Wait till he gets back to me on that. Oh, okay. He just says it's YouTube. All right, cool. So I've got a really cool announcement to make, and I am incredibly excited about it. I've been working towards a bigger international trip ever since I started this channel. I knew I wanted to do one in early 2018, and I've just kind of put the feelers out all over the place to try and see where's the best place to go, what has amazing riding that hasn't really been explored super well yet. And so there's been so many different places that I've considered, like Morocco and Marrakesh, the Tasmania, but that's starting to get a little bit bigger. But they just opened up a bike park, Maydana Bike Park, and there's lots of cool stuff going on there. So that was an option. But a really cool opportunity came up, and it fits the bill so perfectly, and I get to share it with you guys, and hopefully some of you can come on this ride as well. So at the end of May, on May 26th, I am going to be going to Peru, to Cusco, Peru, to go and do, 9 days of riding with Sacred Rides. They're a guiding company, and they do guided rides all over the world. But I'm going to do a 9-day ride with them, doing insane descents. Like, I'm going to read some of the stats in a couple of minutes here about some of the elevation loss that we do daily. But it's going to be crazy. And so we're up in the Andes, like really high altitude stuff. There is, I think most days we're up at around 14,000 feet of elevation, like way up there. 14,500 feet of elevation, I think, is the highest. And so it's going to be absolutely nuts. And so I think there's a total of 10 spots, but a bunch have already been taken. I put this out to my Patreon subscribers first, and but I'm opening up to everybody now. And so I think there's 4 spots left. And everybody's welcome to join me on this trip. It's going to be really amazing. And so through Sacred Rides, they've created a promo code for me, or a coupon code, that you guys can use on this trip or any other trip that Sacred Rides offers to get $200 off. $200, that's like a decent amount of money right there. And so $200 off of this trip, or you can book one of their Utah trips, one of their BC trips, or like Croatia or Switzerland. They have like trips all over the place, or like Everest base camp. Like, there's all these crazy trips that they do. But yeah, if you want to use the Loam Ranger, so it's just Loam Ranger, there's no spaces, there's no capitals, just Loam Ranger as a coupon code, you save $200, and I get a little cut of the sale too, which really helps the channel. And Sacred Rides is actually really generous with their coupon code offers. So it's a great way for me to help pay for my flight and stuff like that. And you guys get $200 off yours as well, which is sweet. So yeah, I really hope you guys sign up for that. It's going to be really cool. So again, it's in Peru, and it's the Peru Inca All Mountain ride, and so it's from May 26th to June 3rd. And it's kind of a linear trip, and so we're not just like staying at one like hotel or something and going out riding to all these different spots and coming back. We're actually going to all these different places and all these amazing spots, local places, and staying there along the way. And I'm trying to work out. I've been talking with them about trying to work out doing the old Meg Avalanche course, because I don't know if you guys know this, but the Red Bull Meg Avalanche used to be in Peru. And so the course is still there, the jumps are still there, and so we're working back and forth to see if we can squeeze in a Meg Avalanche run on the very last day. It's supposed to be a rest day, and then you're supposed to like take off from the airport, but I'm going to try and squeeze in this insane, like, I don't know how long it is, like 25, 30-minute ride down the Meg Avalanche course, so it's going to be pretty nuts. Yeah, I'm going to share some of the, where is that? Some of the stats. Okay. So one cool thing I found on the Sacred Rides website, which is sacredrides.com, is they have ride data on all of their different rides. And so you can actually see on every single day how much elevation gained and how much elevation lost and distance ridden and the highest elevation for each day. So get this. Now it's really high elevation, and they understand that, and that they know that people coming from like sea level or even where I'm at, which is about like 1,000 feet of elevation-ish, I think. I can't remember. They know that you're not going to be able to pedal up thousands upon thousands of feet every day. It's just not going to be possible. So there's a lot of shuttling involved, but also like it's mostly trail riding. Excuse me. But so for example, day four, elevation gained by pedal power is 292 feet. Or let's see a metric view on that. That's 89 meters of elevation gain. Elevation lost, you are going to go downhill a total of 8,200 feet in one day of descending. And like, that's crazy. And on the entire trip total, you're going to do 33,328 feet of descending. It's nuts. Or 10,161 meters of descending. So I'm obviously pretty pumped about that. It's going to be pretty sweet. Live Free and Shred says, I live at 400 feet. I feel like I would pass away at 14,000 feet. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm definitely going to get those altitude sickness pills, but apparently the side effects from them feel just like altitude sickness. So we'll see. But yeah, so I'm going to be going there, and I'm going to be filming every single day of that. And I would love to get 2 videos out of every day, because every single day is pretty epic. And I'm going to bring some camera gear and do some incredible, hopefully some incredible footage of those trails. And most of them are old Inca walking paths or like footpaths. And so I'm some of the videos from it, and it's sort of like there's some really techie, challenging sections, but there's also lots where it's just like a moderate incline, and there's these little paths all over the place that go up and down. And so you basically create your own bike park on the way down. There's no like actual set jumps. There's no actual like bike trails. You just get to go and play all the way down like 8,000 feet and just like make your own trail and have tons of fun. So it's gonna be awesome. Just gonna take a look at the chat. That's one thing I gotta get better at. Drew Bennett says, is Pivot a good mountain bike? Pivot is a company that makes mountain bikes, and they do make very, very good mountain bikes, yes. And I saw where they assemble and where they draw up their bikes, and they're doing it right over there for sure. They are awesome guys and gals, and they all shred. Like, everybody is super fast there, and it crosses over into their bikes. Like, when you see the kind of terrain that they ride on the daily basis in Phoenix, it's just like super rough and chunky, and can your wheels all over the place. You can really see why the bikes are the way they are. Like, they make really stiff frames, and so you can be super precise with them. And the DW link is amazing. All right. Okay. So I think we're gonna be doing. I'm gonna change up the view on this real quick to go to a wide angle. Let's see if this works. There we go. Focus, focus. Yep, sweet. All right, so what we're going to be doing is we're going to take this bike here, this giant bike here, and put it into that bag over there, and pack everything else. I'm going to show you what I'm packing in for the Santa Cruz trip, which is coming up on Thursday. I'm leaving on Thursday morning and riding every single day like crazy all the way until Monday night when I leave. And we're doing a Patreon meetup ride, so all the Patreon subscribers, you know where and when, and everybody else, if you want to find out, be a Patreon subscriber, and I'll see you guys there. It's going to be pretty sweet. I'm actually teaming up with another rather well-known mountain bike YouTuber with his Patreon ride on the same day, so it should be pretty sweet to team up with him and go for a ride. But yeah, go to Patreon to find out more about that. All right. So, okay. Well, let's get rolling on this thing. Okay, so what we're gonna do, step one, I need to take the wheels off this monstrous bike because it basically spans the length of my entire office. So yeah, that's job number one. So we'll get the rear wheel off first, and I can slide the bike back. Sweet. Oh yeah, and you guys should hear, this is that's the i9 with half the pawls taken out. It's nice. And like, the more I've ridden it, the more I've ridden that bike, I've kind of realized that what I didn't like about the stock configuration of the i9 is that it didn't sound like a bike hub anymore. Because like, my entire life, I've been used to a certain type of hub sound, and that's a little bit more spaced out, and it's like, you know, always constant clicks, whether it's faster or slower. With the i9, it's almost like white noise. It's just like it's just different. It didn't sound like a hub to me, and even though this is still, I mean, I guess moderately loud, and there's still tons of engagement points, even though I took half the pawls out, it sounds like a hub now, and I feel like it disappears and I don't notice it anymore. So I'm super happy that I took out 3 out of the 6 pawls, which still gives me 60 points of engagement, and I put some, or the techs at United put some extra oil in there. So it's running nice. But we are going to, there we go. We are going to take that wheel off, so I need this. Right. There we go. And my kids, I have 2 kids. They're just coming home from scouts, and they're going to be going to bed pretty quick, so you're probably going to hear them outside of that door pretty soon. One of the things that I like about this frame that was a little bit weird at first, but now that I've been you know, assembling it and disassembling it a few times, I've actually really learned to love, is that the dropouts for this, you notice, like, I can take this out and the wheel doesn't drop on me. It's because the dropouts, they actually slide outwards like this, and so the wheel pulls back instead of down, so you can pull this out and it doesn't just like fall to the floor, which is super nice. All right. Just pull back, use the chain, and it's out. One wheel. And the other thing was that I always try and remember with packing the bike is you got to put the one wheel in first on the back side, because if you put your whole bike in and then you have to put a wheel in, it doesn't really work out so well with as far as fitment and all that stuff. I'm just going to move the mic over. Sorry about that. Gonna have a look at the chat here. Thanks, Trail Features, for the Patreon link. All right. Yeah, normally it does have 120 points of engagement, but it's only down to 60. But the other thing is, like, I think it's still one of the highest out there. Bobcat asked, what tire am I running in the back? That's a Maxxis Aggressor. And it's Maxxis Aggressor 2.3. TR, of course. I'm running tubeless on it. Lots of sealant. EXO casing for now. I have a DHF with a downhill casing for when I'm doing like really chunky riding. Like if I know I'm going to be doing Whistler for a while or something like that, then I'll put on the downhill casing. And for Peru is really rocky in a lot of places. And I think I'm willing to just deal with having a lot heavier of a rear tire if it means I'm not slashing it to pieces and being stuck on the 15,000 feet. So I'm okay with that. Okay, getting off track. All right. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna turn this thing around. And first thing you gotta do, at least with these wheels and tires, I've noticed that I had to deflate the tire a lot, like big time. So we're going to take that down to almost nothing. Right there. Just so we don't lose the bead. But other than that, it's got to be really squishy to fit into this bag. Oop. And I don't know why I put a cap on my Presta, but it's a clear one, so it looks sweet. So I'm just going to keep it on there. Even though it does quite literally nothing. All right. So yeah, so 29-inch wheels. The rim width on the back one is a 28mm inner width, so it's relatively wide by most standards. I guess kind of normal by modern standards. But it still makes it into one big wheel. And I'm going to choose to keep the rotor on, even though, I don't know, some people really don't like doing that. I kept the rotor on to Austin, and it was okay. And I talked to Brian from BKXC before, and he's always said, don't worry about it, man. I've never had a problem. And if he's never had a problem, I think we're okay. All right. In. Done. Whoop. Okay. All right, that's done. Alex Chamberlain, don't keep the rotor on. Bad mistake. I don't know, and that's one of the reasons why I got the floating rotors from Hope as well, is because they've got those super thick aluminum spiders to them, and like I just can't see those bending. I don't know. But we'll see. I guess it really only takes one time for that to screw up, and you'll never do it again. There, now I can actually see myself. All right, front wheel. Tool, there it is. So I got the bolt-on skewers front and back. I don't really like quick release because it's just another thing that can break. So I always go for the simplest thing. So this is a MRP race axle, front and rear of this bike, because I don't want no maxles snapping on me, because that has happened to people I know, and it is not fun. Okay. And this one, we got to deflate this one too. So do that. And this one is, like these are light bicycle wheels, as most of you guys already know. And the front one is a, it's an EN 933. So it's a 33mm internal width on the front. And it's got a Maxxis Minion 2.5. And I actually just replaced this tire too, even though the last one was brand new. I'll tell you that in a sec. There we go. That should be good. Sweet. Yeah, so I found that right on the first day after putting the tire on, I found these like weird cracks, and I showed it on Instagram. If you're not on my Instagram, definitely get on that. But there's like these weird cracks in the rubber on both sides, just in one section. And I've never seen it before in my life. And they were like deep cracks, and they weren't like a slice from something. It was almost like you froze it and then like turned it really fast, and it would just like crack open, right? So that's what I found on there, which is really strange. But so you know, the company that I got it from, they sent me a new one pretty quick, and so I got it on, no big deal. Oh, we got a super chat. Let's see. Oh, Downhill Dewey. Hey man, how's it going? Thanks for that. Here's for safe travels and many beers / whiskey. Cheers. Cheers to you, man. I'm gonna have another one, a sip of these. Thank you, sir. All right, so this one is pretty good. Should be good. All right, so the other things that we have to do to get this bike into there, I've got to take off the handlebars. I've got to take off the front rotor, or not the front rotor, the front caliper, and pedals and the usual stuff. I'm going to take off the rear derailleur, things like that. So why don't we let's do the pedals. I should have a wrench. There it is. Still rolling, or I'm currently rolling with flat pedals. What is this, right? Right, this way. I've been running flat pedals for the last year. I just decided to stick with it for a year instead of always going back and forth, which I do a lot. I found that just because of the fact that I'm riding so many different places and oftentimes only once, and I rarely know what's coming, being able to bail as fast as humanly possible has been really good for me. You guys have probably seen plenty of my crashes before. So I ride flats. But having said that, there is one set of clipless pedals that I would really like to try, and that's the DMR V Twins. I think that that's going to be the perfect in-between between flats and clipless, because they run the same mechanism as Shimano, but most importantly, the actual clipless part has a spring mechanism to it, which you look at pretty much any other clipless pedal with a cage maker, it's always solid. Like there's no spring actuation to the actual clipless mechanism that goes back and forth. Not the actual part that clips onto your foot, but the entire mechanism can move backwards and forwards, which is a big deal. So the DMR has it because the Shimano patent just expired a couple years ago. So now you're seeing people come out with this mechanism built in. So I'd love to try those because when I'm using clipless, it freaks me out when I have float, and it's just really strange. It's like my feet are on icy pedals, and that weirds me out to no end. And so being able to clip in and also feel a platform of the pedal, that would be awesome. So hopefully I can get a set of those. Okay, left, this way. There we go. But yeah, for flats, I ride the Black Spire pedals. I think they're called sub 420 pedals, but they're good. Nice and grippy. They allow you to customize the pin height, and so I don't know if you can see, but I've got here. I need to be able to see what I'm doing. But you can see. Can you see that? There's like, they give you washers to put in so you can adjust the pin heights. And so I have my I have my outer pins, like these pins, full height, and then I have these two inner ones just barely sticking up, and then I take out the two middle ones completely. So it kind of lets your foot press in and rest into the pedal a little bit. And I don't know, I just find it gives it the best grip in general. We'll put these in the bag in a second. Yeah, we'll wait for a sec to do that. All right. Let's see here. Well, let's check out the chat. How's it going in there? Apparently Alex Chamberlain is trolling. I would expect no less. Alex asks, why take the caliper off? The reason why I have to take the caliper off is because This is a insanely long bike, and it's so long that I can't fit the bike into the bag properly just how it is. So I've actually got to turn the fork right around, and if I left it like that, the caliper is pressing hard into the outside of the bag. And so, I mean, if that gets knocked hard enough, I wouldn't want to see, I mean, it'd probably be okay, but there could be a lot of weight and pressure on that. So I just pop it off, and I'll show you how to do that in a quick second here. All right. That is a long pole. Haha. All right, so I'm gonna take the handlebars off. Actually, no, I'm gonna save that till the end because then things get especially annoying when the handlebars off. I'm gonna take the seat off because I find that it sticks up just a little bit too high when it comes time to putting everything in. But like I said in my other video from Austin, this seat post from 9.8, it's really nice for taking your seat off because, as you can see, it just took a couple of turns and then it pops off and it doesn't adjust the actual angle of your seat at all. So that's really nice. So it's super easy to pop the seat off, so why not? Take some pressure off of it. Put that there. Tighten these up a bit just so they don't rattle out. There we go. Sweet. All right. See you later, MTBPC. Alex asks, why not unbolt the shock like they advertise? I could do that, but then all of a sudden it messes, because I bought a standard bike bag, it messes with where you actually anchor it inside the bag. And so all of a sudden you have this really awkward and very wide section to the bike, and it's hard to strap it in properly. The other part of it is that you have to run the cables in a certain way in order to do that. And so you have to run them internally and underneath the bottom bracket. And I don't really like doing either of those things, so we ran them externally. And so they run straight along the tops of the seat stay, both for the derailleur and for the brake. And so because of that, I can't unbolt the shock and then fold this rear triangle up and over. But if I had run it internally and underneath the bottom bracket, I could do that. One bolt and it folds straight up, done. And apparently you can fit it into some really interesting cases that are not meant for bikes, meaning you could get away with not paying bike handling fees, which would be awesome. Okay. Where's everybody from? I always like to ask. It's cool to see where everybody's tuning in from. I know this time isn't best for all time zones, but I want to see where everybody's at right now. Daily Mountain Bike Rider. He asks, what bikes were you considering before you went with pole? I've been nerding out on this bike pretty hard for a long time. But the other bikes that have been on my mind, they're other kind of like they're smaller brands still. I guess sort of medium size, I don't know. Nolly, like the Nolly Warden, looks really, really sweet. And I feel like I'm drawn to companies where the CEO or the founder or the head person there is an engineer. And so I feel like the companies like Nolly, like Pole, they're just headed up by really nerdy people in the best way. And so I feel like I could trust those brands. Whereas now, I should say this first, like this doesn't mean that these are bad bikes or anything, but I look at a brand like Specialized who makes incredible bikes, and I would love the Enduro 29er, it looks amazing. I don't know, I feel like I don't know who's behind those bikes. Whoever is, they're geniuses and they're doing incredible things. But I don't know who they are. Whereas if I go look at Nolly, I would go look at Pole and some other manufacturers, like smaller to medium-sized manufacturers, I know the crazy brain behind it, and I can hear them talk about it, which is really cool. And I feel like I just get a lot more invested into that. Hey, Biking with Panda. New Zealand. What time is it in New Zealand right now? Las Vegas, New Mexico. I didn't know that exists. Kimberly, BC. That's awesome. Utah. Jason Fan from Calgary with all the hearts. And same from BC POV, obviously from Vancouver. Down in God's country, as I like to call it. Wisconsin, California, Riverside, California, Madison, Colorado, Columbia, the bad part of Columbia. UK, New Jersey, America. That's all I need to know, right? Detroit, Nelson, Newfoundland, New Hampshire, Oak Ridge, Indiana, Milwaukee, California. Sweet. All right. Rooster's Whip. The new YT is too much. Did they bump up in price? I don't know what the prices are. I haven't even looked, actually. It sounds kind of bad, but I'm becoming kind of like a seat tube angle snob. And so as soon as I saw the new YT bikes, like the 27.5 and 29er, as soon as I saw like the really slack seat tube angle, I was like, eh. But I don't know. Like, I know they're gonna rip and they're amazing bikes. But as soon as I saw that seat, you know, with the seat post all the way up and it's like sitting right in the middle of the back wheel, I was like, no. I need my 78-degree seat tube angle or whatever it is. All right. Okay, let's keep going on this. What was I doing? Oh, I took the pedals off. I took the seat off. I'll take the caliper off. I'm already here. May as well do that. There we go. And I just got my MRP fork back, by the way. There was an issue with it. There was like a slow leak out of the negative chamber on the bottom there. And so I noticed they have these like little, they call them psst valves, which I hate saying, but they are actually quite handy. They just release the excess pressure so you don't have to stick a zip tie down in there. But anyways, I noticed that I kept, you know, getting pressure out of this one and not this one. And the fork was also starting to feel more and more harsh. And so we figured out that there was a little leak through one of the seals from the negative chamber. And MRP was like mortified because they had never had this problem ever before. And so they sent off a part right away. I got United Cycle to fix it up, and bam, it's all fixed. So that's great. They took care of me really, really well. And now it looks like it's working perfectly. So I'm pumped to go take it out to Santa Cruz because from what I see, it's like you either have speed and like flow or it's like steep. And both of those two things I'm so looking forward to because I haven't had a lot of either of those things lately. Austin was really good. It's definitely more on the trail ride side of things. And so I'm looking forward to getting some serious speed on this bike and see what it can actually do. And put some other people on it too. I'm always curious like what other people would think. Like Alex, for example. I keep bugging him to ride it. So he says he might give it a try. All right. Man, I'm getting off topic. Here we go. So I got to take that one off too. Started these bolts because I had to put the fork back on. There we go. Actually, I can just do this. Oop. Yeah, so far the Hope brakes have been awesome. I mean, I really just broke them in on my last trip. I had a few days of riding, but there was a lot of just like pushing the bike up the hill, hauling down it, and then pushing it back up again because of filming. But so far they've been awesome. I really like the lever feel. It's exactly what I wanted out of a brake. So I was pumped about that. They're a little bit more difficult to get set up the first time because you really have to align the pads properly. There we go. Oops. And, which wouldn't be a big deal, except for the fact that I'm doing what I'm doing right now, and I have to take them off. If you were on any other bike, you wouldn't have to do this. But because I've got this extra long bike, whoops, oh no. When I get there we go. When I get there, I have to put it back on and I have to recenter the caliper. You can't just do like the squeeze and then tighten the bolts thing like you can with some other brands. You really have to sit and you have to carefully line up the caliper to make sure it's all good. And then they rip, so I can't really complain about that. Okay, there we go. Then I'll put these back in. Whoop. Oh, there's the other one. Oops, wrong one. Canadian M2B asks, what's a good and cheap rear derailleur? SLX. SLX is great. I have no beef with the SLX rear derailleur, which I put on this bike actually. I'm hoping to try out some box stuff coming up. They were saying that they're gonna possibly send me some things to try out, which would be sweet. I don't know if I should be mentioning that yet, but I just did, so there's that. I need some tape. There we go. One of the things I keep in the bike bag itself is some electrical tape, because I'm always find myself taping things up to make sure they stay put for the flight. There we go. Yeah, SLX rear derailleur is good. The shifter itself is really, really slippery, the actual paddle, and I've been meaning to either score that with like a little grinder or just put some grip tape on it, of which I have neither, so that's the only reason why I haven't done that yet. So I'm just going to wrap these bolts, just make sure they don't go anywhere. This is going to be really fancy. There we go. Oh, don't do that yet. I got to put in the little shim. Yeah, people are saying, you know, Shimano SLX and SRAM GX both work well. They're good. I went with Shimano because I decided to go with the E13 rear cassette. And so I wanted to stick with 11 speed for a few different reasons. One of the big ones was, especially if I'm going and traveling to like sort of far off lands or whatever, I don't expect every little bike shop to be carrying SRAM Eagle replacement parts. This is not Hope specific, which is why I'm having to do this, by the way. And so, but I feel like there's a lot better of a chance that people are going to be carrying some 11-speed Shimano or SRAM parts. And so that's one reason why I decided to go 11-speed. Two, I mean, technically it has more range than Eagle, which is always nice. Three, it allows me to run a smaller chainring. So the biggest chainring on the back, the biggest cog on the back is 46 tooth, whereas obviously Eagle is 50. And so the thing that people tend to do with Eagle is they size up their front rings. But I didn't really want to do that, especially with such a long and low bike. I want as much clearance as I can get. And so with the 46 in the back and a 9 tooth in the front, I'm able to run a 32 tooth, so a lot smaller than I would with Eagle. There's a pair of scissors around here somewhere. Oh, there they are. There we go. But yeah, if you guys missed it at the beginning, I was saying how I finally got some merch in stock for the Patreon subscribers. I'm going to hopefully be sending that stuff out tomorrow, the stickers and the shirts. And then I also announced a Peru trip with Sacred Rides. And so I'm going to Peru May 26th to June 3rd. And there are 4 spots left. I think 6 spots have already been taken. And so yeah, 4 spots left. And there's a promo code. It's just Loam Ranger with no spaces or no capital letters or anything. Just Loam Ranger spelled out. And you get $200 off that trip or any other Sacred Rides trip. So if you're booking like one of the Utah ones or BC or wherever, you can use Loam Ranger coupon code to get $200 off. And I also get a cut of the sale too, which really helps out the channel. And Sacred Rides are super generous with their referral codes. Like I was really like surprised to see how much they actually offer for a referral code. And so it's cool to see them supporting the creators. And they're very new at this whole like trying the YouTube side of things. And so it'd be really sweet if you guys were planning on doing a Sacred Rides trip, or if you know anybody doing a Sacred Rides trip, get them to use the Loam Ranger promo code. And then that lets Sacred Rides know that you guys actually watch this stuff and book their trips. So that'd be sweet. All right. Brake caliper. Next, handlebars. Ouch. Any of this. Now, this should be going like this. Like so. There we go. Cool. Okay. See you later, MTB. Daily MTB rider. Thanks for checking in, man. Awesome. All right. Handlebars. Just going to make sure you guys can still see me. I'm kind of back and forth between a bunch of different screens here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. There we go. I hate taking off my handlebars because I'm really picky about how they sit and how much roll. And like, I know I could score it a little bit, but I don't know. I just don't really like doing that. There we go. Have any of you guys ever done a Sacred Rides trip before? I've never done one before. This is going to be my first... Whoa! Loud. That's going to be my first time doing one, and it's supposed to be really cool. Like, I can't believe how much they pack into the trip and how different it is to the ones I've seen out there. There we go. Yeah, Jordan, I'm headed to Santa Cruz on Thursday. Really, really early in the morning on Thursday. Disgustingly early. But that puts me there nice and early as well. And I'm going to go and ride with MTB Flow Rider. He just started his channel up not too long ago. But he actually messaged me months and months ago. I think it was like maybe in the fall of 2017 when I was kind of putting it out there that I'm looking to ride in a few different places, and if anybody has a, you know, cool spots to ride and a place where I can sleep, whether that's a couch or a bed or whatever, to let me know. And he messaged me right away saying, if you're ever coming to Santa Cruz, I will set you up. And so I finally was able to take him up on that offer, which I'm really excited about. And if any of you guys ever want me to come out and ride your area, I'm always looking for places to ride. And that's pretty much all it takes is like good trails and for you to kind of have a rough itinerary in mind. And I will head out there. I usually try and get out for 4 to 5 days. And from that, I try and get a good, I don't know, 6 videos out of it or so. Because I definitely treat these rides as an investment. Every time I book one of these trips, it's like, you know, a fairly good chunk of money to be spent. And part of like the reason why I go anywhere is you know, from Patreon funds. And so when I go and use that money, I don't take it lightly. And when I'm away from my wife and kids, I don't take that lightly. And so I'm always looking for the most bang for my buck for the time spent. And that always doesn't necessarily have to be trails. Like, for example, I went down to Austin, which has some awesome trails. But, I mean, it's different as far as elevation goes from a lot of other places. But I went down to Austin because, you know, we've got Joseph from Trail Features there and Eric, No Front Brakes, and those guys. and they are pumped to go and film some cool stuff. And I knew we could get some good shots, because I think the best part about Austin and the area is that it's, as far as filming goes, they have really cool sections, but they're short sections, which actually works out really well for filming. So you're not having to climb up, you know, thousands of feet before you get to anything, you know, filmable. You're really doing a short pedal, and it's like, oh, there's a sweet section. Let's record that. And you're recording 10, 15 seconds of it, right? All right. Okay, so that's off. There's some like fiber paste on there, so it's kind of gross. All right, so that needs to, just want to make sure there's no stress on anything here. Move that over. There we go. Okay. Now, I got to make sure this is the right way, because I did this wrong last time. Oops. There we go. Okay, leave that there for now. I gotta get that other brake shim in there. Bike drill, you're doing, or wait, Biker D Hill, you're doing a trip with Sacred Rides, or are you talking about me? I'm going to put this thing in here. Sure, it's kind of relatively clean. There. And I'm just going to wrap it, because it's not the right one, but that's all right. Wrap the whole thing. There. Just to keep it in there. Oh, that's not working. There we go. I'm such a pro. How you guys doing in here? Oh, you're talking about me. All right. I didn't see it if anybody else is doing any Sacred Rides trips. It's funny when I look through, you guys are just kind of talking amongst yourselves. Daily MTV. Hey, I thought you were leaving. I need to go film my GG Mega. Oh yeah, Gorilla Gravity Mega Trail review. Yes. Those are supposed to be really fun bikes. See you later, BCPOV. Caillou Yoda. Will I do Demo Forest? Probably. I'm there for 5 days riding every single day, and that's one of the main places. And Brandon Paul, I'm using an MRP ribbon, and it's MRP Ribbon Air, and so I'm going to be trying out the Coil version this spring though in May, and so I'm going to see the difference between the two. But the Air has been awesome, especially because of that negative air spring. It's a really cool experience to be able to like actually adjust how easily the fork goes into its travel. So you can adjust, yeah, will it suck down into the fork really fast, or will it be a little bit more stiff depending on what kind of ride quality you want. So if you're like, you know, if you've been hard charging in like Whistler Bike Park or whatever for like a couple of days and your hands are really feeling it, but you still want to go and ride, you can like dial in some more negative spring pressure. And so it makes your fork more supple. So you can make your fork as supple or as stiff as you want it to be. And that has nothing to do with the actual positive spring rate. You can really like just adjust that sort of little first part of the suspension travel. And then you obviously have, you know, the positive spring pressure and all of that. And then at the end of the stroke, you can adjust it with the MRP ramp control. And so obviously this is like integrated right into the fork because it's from MRP. And so you can adjust exactly how you want the top of the stroke to feel like, and then how the bottom of the stroke to be like with the ramp control, how fast you want it to ramp up. And it also deals a little bit with high-speed dampening as well. Can you ever go too stiff on a coil? Yeah, for sure. It's the same thing. Like you want, you know, I mean, it's not necessarily all about sag point, but you want a certain amount of sag from your front suspension. So you have a little bit of give there. And I don't know, if it's oversprung, your hands are going to feel it because it is going to be really stiff. All right. Okay. What's up next? I think this is pretty much ready to go in. I put a bottle cage on it this time. I pretty much always run with a bottle and no pack, but because I'm doing bigger days on this last trip, and even in with the ski biking and all this kind of stuff, I've been doing like longer runs, and I've had to bring more stuff on me. I've been using a pack, but even though I'm going to be wearing a pack in Santa Cruz, I put on a bottle cage because I'll put like kind of like a hydrator type mixture in there, because like honestly, when I go and do these rides, like it looks like, because I'm posting at least once every single week, so it looks like I'm riding pretty constantly. I ride on average of 4 days every 6 weeks in the wintertime. So my last actual riding a bike, I did a ski bike thing a couple weeks back, but an actual mountain bike was in Austin, and that was mid-January, so it's a month ago. And then before that, it was end of November, which was Phoenix and Arizona. So I'm not riding very much, and so when I go, like I'm going to Santa Cruz and I'm riding with Alex and I'm riding with MTB Flowrider and all these guys, and there's a lot of pedaling up, and so I'm relying on science and technology to keep me alive throughout this. So I'm gonna have a regular pack with water, and then I'm gonna have a bottle filled with scientific concoctions. All right. Shimano fork? All right, so let's see about getting this thing in there, get this frame out of the way. Oh no, I'm gonna take off the rear derailleur as well first, real quick. Coyote Yoda says, will you collab with Seth? Well, Seth doesn't live in California. He lives in he's like what? Southeastern United States? Right? Like, what is he? North Carolina? I actually don't even know. But I know he doesn't live in California, so no collaboration with him. Although that would be a ton of fun, because I really love that guy just pushes himself like crazy and just goes out there to like get better every single time, and those are the people that I want to ride with. So I would be pumped to go and ride with him sometime. All right. Okay. Now, there we go. Okay. So I've got some fenders in there. Obviously this is just for the front wheel, and then I also bring this one as well, which kind of goes on the down tube when I go and ride, especially if I know if there's a good chance that it could be raining, which apparently we might get some rain in Santa Cruz, which would actually be pretty sweet. But this just goes right there. So between this and this, it helps with the gimbal, because there's always mud flicking up and stuff. So I always bring those along. We'll put those there for now. Okay, these are for the pedals. And we don't need this stuff. Okay, wheels in there. Good. Should be good. Let's see if it actually is good. Oop. Come on now. There we go. Put a little bit of foam on my frame when I put it into here. I'll just leave it on for the trip, because I got to put it on a stand when I get there anyways. So, okay, so that's got to go over there. Oop. There we go. Oh yeah, rear derailleur. That's what I forgot to do. There. Stay. That's gonna fall. I'm gonna move this stuff forward a little bit. there. That there-ish. And put to here. Sweet. That's better. There we go. Cool. Okay. Everybody see okay? Can you collab with IFHT when you go to Whistler? Probably not, but that's okay. I mean, it'd be super awesome. Like those guys, they nerd out on the video side of things, so which is obviously near and dear to my heart, and so I've very, very lightly chatted before, very quick, very light chat, but who knows where things will go in the future. I'm always happy to do those things, of course. Whoop. There we go. Yeah, I'm just taking the derailleur off. There we go. Cool. Okay. That's done, and it's usually a little rag that I use sitting around here, and I don't see it anywhere. I usually wrap the derailleur a little bit in like a little white rag. One sec. Get this pulled up here. Okay. This'll work. That'll do. Electrical tape, of course. All right. We'll do this. It's kind of weird trying to do this while working around camera angles at the same time. Yeah, that should be fine. So I just take this and then wrap it and then tape it to the bike. It works. Right there. I'll wrap this first. And I just use electrical tape just because it doesn't leave a residue. So I don't have to worry about sticking on the frame or taking off anything. There we go. There. Sweet. And it's really easy to rip too. It's nice. All right, that's on. Cool. And now, this right there. So you can see, like, with the fork reversed, I'm right to the end of that. And so with the fork the other way, like, I couldn't fit this bike in anyways. I can't see how somebody else could do that. There we go. Sweet. Okay. That's good there. All right. That's good. Handlebar needs to go down. Over here. Okay. Any questions about like the bike, or like any questions as far as like traveling with a bike or anything like that? Not super experienced with it, but I can always answer questions. All right. Sweet. If everybody wants to hit the like button, that would be awesome. If you haven't already, don't hit it if you already hit it. There we go. Cool. How much does a bike bag cost? They're about 500 bucks ish, 500 or 600 bucks. They're a bit of an investment, but if you're planning on doing more than one trip, it can be worth it. You can rent these too from most bike shops. So I find it's worth it because I'm going to get a lot of use out of it, and it's a good quality bike bag. The other one I wanted to look into was the Thule one, and they have two different ones, and the one that I wanted to look into actually comes with like an integrated bike stand. Excuse me. And so once you get to your destination, you can pull out the bike stand, and it's like a little tripod kind of thing, and then you set your bike on it, and you're able to like piece it all back together on your own stand when you normally wouldn't have one. That would be really cool. And then when you're not using it as that, it's used as bracing for the actual bag itself to make it stronger, which is pretty cool. Yes, this is an Evoc bag. California Cruising says, pack a jacket, it's 50 for a high today in the Bay Area. Yeah, it's, I was looking at the weather, and it's not super toasty, but I don't know, it's like minus 20 out, it's like minus 20-ish outside right now in Alberta, where I'm from. So that sounds okay to me. Going to like plus 12 Celsius, I don't know what that is, like 60 something or whatever. 23 Racing asks, what's a good dropper post? I don't like the reverb, I know that much. There is lots of good ones out there. 9.8 is the one that I'm using. I've got a 175 millimeter drop from 9.8, and it's working really good. The lever is amazing. It's the best dropper lever I've ever used in my life. It's the same thing as the Wolf Tooth. Wolf Tooth? I think Wolf Tooth. Yeah, it's a sweet dropper so far. I haven't used it much. I've only ridden the bike for 4 days so far, so I can't give you any kind of long-term thing on that, but soon I'll probably be able to make a review on it. Okay. California Cruise, what days will be in Santa Cruz? I'm there from this Thursday to Monday, and I'm going to be all over the place. All right. Let's get the fork in there. Actually, as far as the brake caliper goes, all I do with it, like here it is, just like sitting loose. And I'm just going to check my screen here. Oops. There we go. It's just like sitting here at the bottom of the bag loose, but all I do is I just toss it in the bag. There's a little zip up pocket there, and that's where it stays. I just leave it right there. It's not really that big of a deal, and so then when I get there, I'll just pop it out and then put it on the fork, and away I go. Okay, so that like that. Do up the fork. There we go. Sweet. That's that. Nice and tight. So who here has been here from the very beginning of the stream? I know lots of people have kind of come and gone. How many people have been here since the beginning? Wow. Daryl, that's good to hear. It's raining Thursday and Friday, but Santa Cruz soaks it up, so it's pretty nice. That's awesome. That's what I heard about it, and I know they need rain pretty badly, so I'm totally fine with that. Oh, lots of people were here from the beginning. That's awesome. Watch out for poison oak. Okay, noted. Bryce just got here. Porter Finch asked, are there any specific trails you're hitting in Santa Cruz? You know what? This is one of the cool things about going and doing stuff like this is that I'm just showing up, and guys like Ryder and Alex, they're just what they on there, and I'm just gonna down trails, try and have fun, and video it for you guys. So I have no idea. I know was mentioned, area was mentioned once. One trail was mentioned before. Some stuff I can't really remember, but there's gonna be some cool things for sure. So 23 Racing, thanks for hanging out. All right. On this is going up. Okay, get done up. Really tight. There we go. Make sure there's no like really crazy tension on anything. So ears aren't being bent like that. Check the audio. How is the audio? Is it like or too loud, or is it fuzzy? Let me know. Thanks for hanging out. Awesome. I'm like I said, stream. I'm like my stream is fun. You guys are awesome. Keeps cutting out. All right. Let me check. Let me check if it's the stream or not here. Well, it says like the stream is good. All right. I'll just give it a sec. Let it calm the hell down. It's good now? Okay, good. Awesome. Audio's like 70s video. Okay. Yeah, it just must be a YouTube thing if it's happening to everybody. All right, but everything's good now? Sweet. Cool. Okay, so that's good to go. Oh yeah, so with these pedals, these are obviously flat pedals, and one of the things that kind of freaked me out was, I mean, they're spiky, and so I didn't want to I didn't know where to put them in the bag that wouldn't have them, like, if they were really, like, rubbing against the outside to, like, rip through the bag or to the inside and into the frame. So I just cut out 2 little pieces of cardboard and stuck them like this. And then I put them in the bag like that. Whoops. Whoops. Like this. This is very fumbly. Like so. And then, whoops, over here. Put them in the bag here. Just like that. And it worked really good last time. So we're just going to assume it's going to work really good this time. Because if everything goes well once, nothing bad could ever happen, right? Try and get that better in later. There we go. All right, this needs to go over. There we go, that's better. Okay, that's done. Derailleur's good. Frame is good. Got these straps here. Yeah, like I was telling Alex earlier. How's the audio? Is it still good? Looks like it. Like I was telling Alex Chamberlain earlier, this bike is foldable. So it goes from like being the longest bike possible to like this bike possible as far as like traveling with it. So this entire swing arm, if you unbolt one bolt, it swings up and onto the front triangle. But because I'm routing straight over the top and externally, I can't do that. If I wanted to route internally and underneath the bottom bracket, I could, but I didn't really want to. And also the cables just weren't long enough either. So I just do it like this. But if I were to fold it up, there wouldn't be any connection points inside this bag for the whole rear end, other than just the seat post. So it wouldn't really make a ton of sense anyways. All right, that one's good. Go underneath. This one's gonna go over. Okay. I think that's good. We just gotta put this one on. There we go. Cool. Looks good. Okay. So, and to be flow rider, see you Thursday. All right, go get some food. Yes, please do. just gonna toss this right into there. This one, don't think that fits. I'll just throw that down. Doesn't really matter. All right, let's go wide angle. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna move this back a little bit. About there. How's that? That's pretty good. Shows my big messy office beautifully. Sweet. All right, now I gotta pack some bags that are gonna be going into it. So as you can see, like it's a bit messy as far as like, well, I shouldn't even say that. It's pretty easy as far as like putting it in to the bag. You just gotta turn the fork around and take the caliper off. Other than that, the longest bike that you could basically possibly buy, it's pretty easy to put into there, so not a big deal. Thanks, Elijah. Appreciate it, man. I didn't take the rotors off the wheels. People are saying I should. Brian from BKXC says don't worry about it. I don't know. I probably should because it's just 6 bolts, but I feel like, I don't know, I'm just going to risk it. Risk it for no biscuit. There's no biscuit at the end of this other than not having to put in 12 screws. Porter asks, how long does it take to set the bike back up? It kind of depends. Like when I was in Austin, it took probably like half an hour-ish, but that's because I was kind of like taking my time with it. I needed to adjust the brake caliper in the front. If I didn't have to adjust the brake caliper, it would be like way faster. But yeah, it's not bad. All right. Audio's cutting a little bit again. Okay, let's get into the stuff other than the bike that I'm taking. So I've got to pack my helmet bag. Actually, I'm going to do my pack first. So if you saw my ski biking video that I put out the other day, you will have seen this enormous pack. This is from Dainese. They actually got a hold of me a long time ago when this channel was really small, and they were just one of the companies that saw like I didn't have a big reach at the time, but they said, you know what, I feel like I really like your content, and I think the channel is going somewhere, so we want to support you with like products, like a product support kind of thing, which is great. They've been awesome. And so one of the things they sent me was this bag, and I had never seen anything like this thing before, and I was really curious about it. And I wore it during my ski bike video because I needed lots of pockets, and I'm going to try wearing it for actual mountain biking. So this is a pack. It's like a mountain bike pack. It's much bigger, but that's because it's really built around being a back protector. So they kind of turned a back protector into a backpack. It's actually pretty low profile. Like if you look at it from the side, it's pretty thin. And there's some cool stuff that they did with it too. So yeah, there's not a ton of ventilation on the back. I noticed like it's got a lot of panels that conform really nicely, but I have no idea how it's going to be actually riding. This is all just speculation. But I threw my Camelback Reservoir in there, but I'm bringing it because it's got lots and lots of storage, which my other one does not. And so what you can actually do is you can zip this entire panel all the way off, and then I'm not going to zip it all the way off because it's annoying to put back on, but you can take the entire panel off and then just have this, which is just sort of like back protector, reservoir if you want it, and one little pocket. So if I was at like Whistler Bike Park and I knew I was going to be trying some like interesting stuff that maybe I haven't done before, that's the kind of situation where having a back protector would be nice, I think. So I don't know, it seems pretty cool, especially for the back protector side of it. Like without the reservoir in there, this is really, really thin. And so you can wear this underneath your jersey. I was trying it on with a jersey over top, and you actually don't really even notice it. So that's kind of nice. And on the inside of this, there's like tons of pockets. So I'm going to be carrying all sorts of camera gear as per usual, the gimbal dork gear. Anyways, just thought I'd show you guys that. It's kind of a unique product. I'm going to test it out and tell you guys what I think. The nice thing about every single company that I work with, none of them expect me to say good things about their stuff. From like Pole, who sent me that bike frame, they were like, seriously, don't sugarcoat anything. Just take it and ride it and tell us what you think. To like Dainese, they're just like, wear it if you want to, or don't wear it if you don't want to, kind of thing. So it kind of allows me to actually do decent, proper reviews on stuff, which is cool. So anyways, that's the pack there. So I'm going to be putting that in the bottom of the bag. Oh yeah, the seat's got to go in. Don't want to forget that. Oh yeah. And then I'm also going to be bringing fanny pack. This is actually what I normally wear when I go and ride. I'm usually a fanny pack rider. And so I just have a water ball, and then I have this to fit all my batteries and memory cards and all that kind of stuff into. So it works really good. And this is just like a jogger's fanny pack, and it's filthy because I've worn it almost every day I've ridden the entire past year, and there was a lot of rain and mud. So gonna bring that for sure when I don't feel like wearing the pack all the time. Hand up gloves. They sent me some gloves. I'm pretty sure, I think when you sign up for a YouTube account, for a mountain bike YouTube account, they actually just send you hand up gloves right away. It just kind of comes with the package. No, I'm just kidding. But they sent me some gloves to try out, and I'm really picky about gloves and fitment. So I am not, like, I'm interested to use these yet. I haven't actually ridden with them. They're pretty loud. They have some less loud ones that they're gonna send me, because I like a little bit more like either subdued colors or like one color. And so these are obviously not that. They actually look pretty cool. But I'm going to be trying those out. But the ones that I have been using a lot, not for riding, but for everyday life, are these ones. They're winter ones. And so it's like windproof on the top half. And so I've been wearing these as just like daily like driving gloves. So I've been using them a lot. Trail Features says, do you ever get those Kneepads sorted out, or are they still bioweapons? Yeah, so I'll show you. Those have to go in the bag as well. I have this set of Kneepads that I've had for a few years now. And they're the best downhill / all mountain knee pads that I've ever worn. And they're the Fox Launch Pro, but they're the old style ones. They came out with new ones in the last year or year and a half or so. And I'm just going to turn the brightness down a little bit. There we go. And that's better. But these ones are so much better. I've tried the new ones, and they are not anywhere near as comfortable as these. And oh, I can't get too close to them. Trail Features call them bioweapons because I cannot get the funk out of these pads. They're slightly better now, but that's only because I soaked them in a vat of vinegar, and anything good smelling that I could put in there, I threw into it as well. I've washed them so many times over the years, but they're just kind of like permanently stanky. And none of my other pads have gotten this way, but these ones are just awful. But I can't find new ones. If you guys ever see a good deal on the original Fox Launch Pro knee pads, let me know, because I want another set. They're so comfortable. I can actually trail ride in these all day long and go do full on DH, and they'll look great. Super comfortable, really awesome pads for when you're doing the gnarly stuff. Then I got my elbow pads. These are like the Dainese Trail Skins ones. They're like bendy, but when you hit stuff, bendy, and they work awesome as elbow pads. And they have, yeah, did I say knee pads before? These are elbow pads. And they fit right underneath your jersey, so I like wearing those. And they have knee pads too for like lighter trail riding, which is awesome. Okay, so all of those are gonna go into one bag, probably my helmet bag. So this is a helmet bag actually for the Shiva, but I'm not bringing this. I don't think I need this. Anybody from Santa Cruz, for like doing like the fast fun stuff, do I need a full face, or would that just be too much? It didn't really seem like I should need it, but if anybody knows better than me that maybe I should be bringing this, let me know. But I'm not planning on bringing a full face. yeah, it should be fine without the... No full face needed. I didn't think so. I didn't think so. So anyways, this is the bag for the Shiva 2, but I'm using this one, my trail helmet, which is their Interceptor, it's called, and which is really nice. And so when I pack the helmet, I always like dial in the rear thing as much as I can so it's not sticking out and having weight set on it the whole time. Put it in a bag because it's like kind of new. There we go. Sweet, put that in there. I'm also gonna fill it up with my pads. My stanky pads. California cruising. Any idea where you're riding on Friday? I actually truly have zero idea where I'm riding. I am literally just showing up and then going along for the ride. So put the, basically I'll try and keep like the different segments of things together. So all my protective stuff is gonna go in here. So that's helmet, pads, and gloves. All that's gonna go in one thing so I know where it is. I am gonna have that stank on my head. Yes, that's just how it's gonna be. Oh yeah, and I'm gonna bring a little bag of extras for the helmet, and there's also a GoPro mount in there for the helmet, just in case it does get really sloppy, then I can throw the GoPro on my head and not worry about it. So I'll put that in there. That should be good for that. I'll show you guys my gimbal case. Everybody loves to see the gimbal case. Because who doesn't like some cutout foam in a fancy case? Like there's not much better than that. Come on now. All right. Goggles? You know what? My goggles just broke. And I would be taking goggles because I'd like to, because I don't even have proper riding glasses. I've always worn just my like sunglasses, which really doesn't work that great in a lot of situations. So I wish, but I don't think so. There, I'm gonna change this up because it looks a little poopy. All right, so this is my gimbal case here. There's a couple extra batteries, but this is it. I don't know if you guys can see as it all falls onto my laptop. So I've got two different gimbals. They're both people say Ziontech, but I think it's supposed to be like Juntech. I don't know. Juntech Rider M gimbals. They've worked great. They're the exact same things as Evo SS wearable gimbals. Do not be fooled. They're the same thing. And so what I do, I buy them from B&H, and I get their protection plan on it. And then so that means I can fall onto it and get soaked, and then they just replace it for me. So I typically go that route. And then, because that's the biggest gripe that people have with they buy the Evo over the Juntech because the Evo is an American company, sort of. Well, it is, but the product's still from China. Anyways, if you have a problem with your gimbal, you can send it back to Evo, which is in the States, which is nicer to deal with. That totally makes sense. But if you get this plus a protection plan, you end up sending it to a place in the States anyways to get it fixed through the warranty. So this winds up being, I think it was like $100 cheaper per gimbal, even with a protection plan, versus the Evo with no protection plan. So I just went that way. And you got GoPro number 1, GoPro number 2, they're both Hero 4 Blacks, pile of batteries, another battery, gimbal batteries, chargers, windscreen. I'm going to be doing a really cool set of videos pretty soon that covers everything I do from start to finish, like from how I record and what I use to record, how I set up, how I plan my rides and videos, to the actual editing itself and color correction and contrast and sharpening and export and all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to be doing a whole series on that, so it should be pretty sweet. I'm looking forward to doing that. It's just a lot of work, and I haven't been able to get to it yet. Oh. So this is obviously coming with, not in the bike bag. This is coming with me on the plane. Yeah, that's the one. Ziyun or Jiun. Jiun? I don't know. Maybe somebody can help me out with that. Somebody that I know that just moved to China and kind of knows the language decently well told me that's how it's pronounced, as Juntech, but who knows? Hey Conrad, thanks man. Okay, what else? I am taking my 510s. I just got these end of last year. They're Freerider Pros, which has been sweet. For flat pedals only. And what else is going to be going in there? Not too much. Oh yeah, I got this. This is the tire that actually got the cracks in it. If you weren't tuned in earlier, this brand new Maxxis DHF, I found really deep cracks just in one section of the tire. So I don't know what happened, but anyways, I got it replaced under warranty, but I was obviously able to keep the old tire. But it worked fine. Like, I rode tons of really sharp rocks in Austin, Texas, and nothing ever happened. There was no leakage of air or sealant. So I just wrapped it back up. I'm going to take it with me as a spare tire. Why not? So that's going in there. What else? Let's see. I was going to grab my goggles, but those are broken now, so that's not going to happen. I have to remember to bring the axles. That's obviously a big one. And this is kind of like a little bag of kind of like sort of wheel extras. I've got a couple of extra spokes. I've got the original axle that came with the bike, which is a Maxxel, but I've seen way too many of them break, so now it's just like a backup. Got an extra valve. I've got an extra spoke nipple and the springs for my hub and the extra pawls that I took out. So I got those just in case something weird happens. Looks like the Folk is kind of doing weird things. There we go. Our 510's worth the money. If you've never tried a dedicated riding shoe before, it is a pretty different experience. Like what I found about the Freerider Pros anyways, and that's a flat pedal specific shoe. Sorry, I gotta have a drink of water. Product placement. What I find about the Freeriders is that the stiffness of the sole is just right. So I had Ravens before that, which were also 510s, but they were really stiff and I couldn't feel where my feet were. But I also I don't want my feet to like be bending over the pedal either. So this was kind of like right in the middle. And the rubber is kind of in the middle as well. It's not their stickiest, but it's not their least stickiest. But it's perfect. I'm finding it is incredible. So your feet stick to those pedals. They almost feel like clipless pedals, and yet you can pull out of them anytime you want, obviously. So I think they're worth the money. I didn't get any kind of deal on those. I paid price for them. They were around, I think they were around like 180, 200 bucks kind of a thing. But I also don't go through my shoes very fast. Like the pair of Ravens that I still have and will still use here and there, like with clipless, I've had those for like 3 or 4 years, and they could go much longer than that. So when am I coming to Santa Cruz? Thursday. First thing Thursday. I'm packing the bike up now, so I don't have to worry about it tomorrow, because I need to go to bed ultra early because I have to wake up at like 3 a.m. Yeah, Kobe, I am going to be riding with Alex Chamberlain. We're going to go do a lot of riding, I think. It's going to be sweet. Cool. I've got a couple more things to pack, but that's just kind of like me rummaging around in the case. So you guys don't need to be staring at my ass for the next 30 minutes. So I think that's it for this live stream. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Just another recap. Finally got some merch in. I'm going to be doing another order in about a month. So if you're not a Patreon subscriber for that, sign up now and I can get you one of these t-shirts, which fits really well. All different sizes and colors. And stickers as well. I'm going to be sending those out. The Peru trip with Sacred Rides. That's May 26th to June 3rd. Everybody is welcome. There are only 4 spots left. They're going really, really fast. Use the Loam Ranger coupon code for 200 bucks off. It's literally just Loam Ranger, no caps, no spaces. You got 200 bucks off that or any single trip that Sacred Rides offers. And I'm going to see you guys in Santa Cruz. I won't have any Santa Cruz vids out for probably a week or two. So keep on my Instagram. I'm going to be posting lots. where I'm at, where I'm riding, and just like shots of just whatever's going on at the time. So should be pretty sweet. So sign up on Instagram as well. But yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And yeah, have a good night. Cheers.